Good morning, good afternoon, Bina.
Good afternoon, Julie. How are you?
I'm great. Believe it or not, I'm actually great, and it's Monday, not Friday. It's a bit weird doing it on Monday, isn't it?
I know. Well, it's kind of, I feel buzzy and I feel good. It's sunny. And
Yeah.
this week is going to be sunny and it's going to be Indian summer again. So, yeah.
And you had a lovely birthday on Friday, so that's fantastic.
I had a really lovely Friday. I mean, the birthday was kind of, didn't do much, but it still happened like all the way through the day and then Saturday and Sunday and then, we just had a pizza with friends, but it was just lovely to be with friends. And so, yeah, it's just nice feel.
What a lovely weekend you had for it as well.
Yeah.
So hello everybody, it's Monday the 14th of September. God, it's weird saying Monday. And it's HR Bullets with Bina, PlainTalking HR, and Julie Grimes from Jaguar White Recruitment. And we're going to talk about some hot topics today. Actually, I'm going to hand straight over to Bina, and you can talk about the topics and what we're going to do, and then we're going to come back to me on a little update on recruitment.
Thank you. Right, well, happy Monday to everyone to start with. Yeah, it's a great week, and so here we go. Well, one of the first things that I would like to talk about is the proposed extension to the job retention scheme. On Friday, there was a report published by, I think it's the Select Committee, Treasury Select Committee, which actually recommended and asked the government, they put in a report and requested the government to think about, literally, very seriously about extending the job retention scheme, specifically for certain industries, for a certain period, purely on the basis that the committee feels, and obviously a lot of the MPs and people feel, that come end of October, when the job retention scheme finishes and the furloughing finishes, that a lot of people by that time will be made redundant. The unemployment will just go sky high. And that means that the kind of progress that the economy has started making and everything's growing and getting better, that will actually plummet come end of October. So something needs to be done to hold on to it and be almost like a phased fading away of the job retention scheme. So that proposal went in on Friday, so we just have to watch. And I think that because the proposal was published on Friday and it's there, and I'm sure it's on the government website, which means that something will have to be done, or at least the government has to respond to it. So I assume that we will probably hear about it either this week or next week. So we'll keep everybody updated. So that's for sure.
We're not really sure what sectors or how it's going to impact, but hopefully something positive somewhere will come out of it, won't it?
Exactly. And I think a lot of it, again, it went into some detail about, the low kind of end of the wages and, the employment levels, where people who are at the bottom, not earning much, probably national minimum wage and so on, they are hit at the most at the moment, obviously, because a number of things have just closed. A lot of women are actually more affected than men. And so the inequality in pay, again, the pay gap is getting bigger, has got bigger. And so that needs to be addressed. Not only that, they also talked about just on the basis that because of all this, the economy has started to go down again, and it's going to get worse come end of October. So what is the government going to do about it? I think we also need to think about when we started talking about the extension, we also talked about the furloughing scheme, and I'm not going to say too much about it. The fact is that unless the government does something about getting people in the employment, and for instance, the Kickstart program we talked about. Now, you and I talked about it this morning, and I didn't realize in the small print.
Me neither.
Did you? And it just literally came to light last week for both of us that the Kickstart scheme is a really great idea and great scheme. But hey, guess what? Where we've been saying to people that SMEs should be able to take advantage of that, unless you are willing to take on 30 people, 30 young people at the same time, you've got no chance, because it's not meant for SMEs, smaller kind of companies who would want to take maybe 1 or 2 youngsters, they're 16 to the 24 years of age. And actually, to be honest, 16 to 24, how are you going to take on 30 people, 30 new people, even if they are being funded by the government? That's a lot of people if your business doesn't have that work, it doesn't have that capacity to take 30 new people on at one fell swoop.
Disappointing for the SMEs, I have to say. So watch this space. Maybe we'll go up there and see them, Bina. We'll fight the corner for the SMEs.
Yeah, SMEs. Well, and because of that, the only other thing that I did find out last week, which was great, is through the local university, Bedfordshire University, and also through SEMLEP and through European funding. If you do want to take a youngster or somebody on, kind of probably be a graduate student for 10 weeks to start with, then there is funding through the university and so on. And then if you then decide to take on that individual, that graduate, on a long-term basis, then there is another set of funding, another bit of funding, which is supported. So that means that it would be a lot more cost effective for SMEs like you and me, that if we wanted to take somebody like that on, then it would be worth looking into. So again, apologies about the Kickstart scheme.
Absolutely.
Totally didn't get that at all until I went into the small print. I think, oh no. Okay.
We're only human, Bina. But the universities, I think that's a great opportunity for the graduates, because it's just diet out there for them at the moment, along with a lot of other people. So
and I think graduates and again, they are all kind of waiting, and they are much more savvy than you and me about a whole lot of stuff. They are, especially when it comes to IT and digital things and so on. So
yes,
we should take them on. We should take them on. The other thing I think we need to talk about is remote workers or working from home, which is now called remote workers or remote, Well, that goes on because now those people who are told that maybe you may be coming back in October, and there's like 2 things going on here. The government is actually pushing for people, for employers and employees to get together, start talking about when they can start bringing people back into the workforce. The employees, most of them, a lot of them are not really in a hurry to get back to the workplace.
Absolutely.
The employers, again, are not keen to bring everybody back into the work at the same time. And to be honest, I think most of them have done really massive surveys, gone and communicated with their employees and worked out when they could bring some of those people back or at all. So, the surveys have been, would you want to come back to work all the time? Or are you happy to stay at home? Or do you want to do half and half? Or more at workplace, less at home, more at home, less at workplace, and so on.
That's great.
And also, not only that, a number of people large organizations who were thinking about starting that around end of October, a number of them are not now bringing people in until January. So, they've shifted it. And so I think what's going to happen is they're only going to start bringing core people in, or people, who can't work from home, B, that they would much rather, for whatever reason, they can't work from home. B, that they would much rather do some of the work at the workplace, and they're quite happy to take on the public transport, especially to travel on, especially if they're working in large cities like London, and they've got to use the public transport and so on. And obviously another element now, complexity, is that the students, where a number of the students have gone back to school, some of them haven't. And you know more than I do about all these things, don't you?
I want to talk about schools and COVID at all. Not a good subject at the moment, though.
No.
My kids are both in school still, so but who knows what's going to happen.
But it's still going on, because I know that even with the school, that some which are the students have gone back, some of them they've only got half the time in the school or college and half the time online from home. That's because right. Obviously they're trying to work out the social distancing in the space they've got at the schools, so it's a big kind of swirling mess in a way.
That's a really good way. It's a swirling mess, because you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. But it's interesting because we've got some mutual clients like SMEs, and with smaller workforce who've managed to all go back to the office.
Yeah, they have. Yeah.
Fantastically. And then I've got other clients that are bigger with 150 people in their head office and lots kind of around the country, not interested until January. Most of the people that work in London are all, lots of connections. That January seems to be the golden month. Don't know what's going to happen on December the 31st. It's all going to disappear and everyone's going to go back into the office in January. I mean, it's not going to happen, is it? But it's just that golden month. Let's wait till the new year. But
I think it's just pushed it back, and so we're not going to do it in October, and so the next date seems to be January. But hey, we just hubby and I were talking yesterday about this, and we just think it's still going to be like this come this time next year, I reckon. Things would have moved.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be, hey, presto, we're all back to normal. We're not. Just today it started again, isn't it? With only 6 people can be together. So there you go. We've gone backwards.
I'm thinking Easter. I'm going Easter.
Easter is good.
Easter 2021. Well, smiling aside, and you have to smile because it is so doom and gloom. It is about connecting with the workforce, whether they're at home, whether they're half at home, half in the office. It's about stand-ups, weekly Zooms. I mean, we don't want to be on Zooms, but I think everyone needs to be connected with their workforce. 100%. Just don't take any chances, because they might be okay, they might not. They just love to be connected. They want to be involved. And on the other side, it's, as we've spoken about lots of times, it's the well-being, isn't it, Bina?
It's the well-being, and people are still suffering a lot. As I said, there's so much uncertainty about so many different things that, and not only there's well-being on mental health, but also financially, a lot of people are suffering. A lot of people are being made redundant. They don't know, especially if, say, you've got a single parent and they're being made redundant. It's tough. Even with 2 parents, with a couple and both working, and there's uncertainty about, whether they're both going to keep a job or not, or, how they're working, their working arrangements. As I said, it's a big swirling mess. And unfortunately, it does take its toll on people, So employers have a duty of care, and much more so now than ever before. So they need to really, grasp the nettle, as it were, and do something about it. Yeah, whether you're a small business owner or a large organization, has to be done.
Do it within departments, or you do it as a company. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Look after each other.
So now I shall talk about the B word.
Brexit.
Well, that's January as well, isn't it?
Yeah,
Oh my God.
Yeah, there's a lot riding on January.
Oh, well, again, we've gone backwards last week, haven't we? It's like 2 steps forward, 1 back, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, it feels like that with the schools as well. Yeah.
We've got to laugh. If you don't laugh, you'll cry, you know.
Absolutely.
But hey, you know, again, as far as employment is concerned, we talked about it last week, and we're just saying to people, hey, before you know it, it's January, and before you know it, it's going to be 1st of July. Please just double check your status. If you've got European, and we're only talking about European employees, workers, if you've got any of them in your workplace, just double check their status. And I'm sure as good employers, you must already have done that they have got the status and it's got to be settled, or they've actually put in their application in, and so that the application is being, you know, being considered. But the fact is that even the 2 million Europeans have been given the settled status, there's plenty more there, you know, over 250,000 again, or a bit more than that, who are still waiting for their applications to be considered and successfully passed. So you as an employee, if you got any of these and you haven't got any paperwork sorted, please do so. If you're an employer, much more important, please tick away and check away and get that sorted with your employees, because although again, you see, it's not certain what's going to happen come 1st of July next year, whether they all get kicked out, you know, or say, right, form a queue and off you go, or what, you know.
We guide people in kind of what we're gaining the information, can't we? But yeah, they need to audit, they need to check all their staff, check all their paperwork, make sure their applications are in. And if you're not employed as a hopefully potentially employee in the UK, if you're a UE citizen, then you need to be doing that yourself as well, ready, because it will help you get employed.
So, well, that's all I'm going to say, because I'm not going to go into the detail about, you know, all the point system and so on, because we talked about it last week.
It's on the Gov UK. So
exactly. If anybody's got any questions, we are here. They can go onto the government website and check about how Brexit works, what point system is, how the points are made up, and so on and so forth, and what's the application process as well. So, you know, we're not going to go into it. But that's me done. So we're talking about your recruitment.
It's not that great news. It really isn't. But let's think about the positives of it. So Neil Carberry from the Recruitment and Employment Confederation, you know, in his last, I think it was last week, in his last messages out, you know, with the job recovery tracker, it's all about marketing, drivers, mechanical engineers, crane drivers, legal sector's going up slightly as well. That's probably because lots of people are getting divorced because they can't live together through lockdown. So there is a big upturn in that. When I say big, it's in the right direction. It's great. You've got to think get the positives where they are.
Yeah.
It's more in northwest of England, Ireland and Wales. So yeah, sort of there's little bits here and there, but that's the story on the street at the moment in terms of, you know, where the recruitment is, where the jobs are being posted. So, but it's positive and it's going to get better. But you're right, redundancies on one hand still coming out. Like you said, furloughs ending October. We're not over it. But it's a swirly mess. I like that one. Bina.
It's a technical term.
It's a swirly mess. So there's we've got the scales, haven't we? This is going well, this is not going well, and you know there's going to be more redundancies. So we're hoping it's going to balance out soon.
Unfortunately, the redundancies carry on. So you know that's the name of the game at the moment.
And retail, as everybody knows, retail is just going backwards still, and
yeah,
I really do feel for them. They're the people that need the extension to the job retention.
they do,
as well as many others, but you know, I do feel for them. If you've got
the retail is
dual income, both working in retail, I mean, how are you going to pay your mortgage? It's just so scary.
Well, you know, I I didn't like online shopping that much. And do you know what? I'm one of those typical people who haven't been to the shops that much at all. I think I've been into grocery supermarket twice in the last maybe three times in the last 6 months since March. Maybe in women's clothes shops twice in 6 months. Come on, you know.
No.
That just shows. And I never liked online shopping ever before.
No.
Well, I mean, I did certain things, but you know.
Not when it comes to clothing.
Exactly, you know, I haven't. And so that's showing how many people would be like that, who are just not going to do any shopping. They're just not going. And obviously, because if you think about it, where people in London or anywhere like that, you know, automatically when they were in London, working in London, then the shops are all open. They'll do the shopping in the morning, in the lunchtime, on the way home. The city's been closed for the last, 4 months or whatever. There you go, you know.
Exactly. Well, before we go, if anyone's listening to this and you are a senior accountant and you live around the Watford, Luton, maybe Milton Keynes area, and you're looking for a full-time job, contact me. Qualified or part qualified, but you do need to have worked in an accountancy practice. So, yeah, really interesting.
Oh, great.
So we're looking to recruit somebody in a really friendly, hard-working, lovely company. So absolutely get in touch. And my second thing I wanted to mention before we go is if anyone's watching this and I haven't got back to you last week, I do really apologise because I've been getting lots of people ringing in, speaking to me, trying to register with this, that and the other. I will be back to you. I will always get back to you. It's just not as instant as it used to be because I'm quite good on my customer service and getting back, but it is going a few days. So I apologise to anybody I haven't got back to you straight away, but I'm going to be back to you. If I can help you, I will get you registered and help you. If I can't, I'll tell you where to go, hopefully, with some good advice. So thanks again, Bina. Brilliant as always.
Thank you, Julie.
Let's hope we can have some more positive news next time.
Well, we definitely will. We will find that all the shining stars, all the sparkling gems, and we'll bring them to our lovely audience.
Yeah.
Next week.
We haven't forgotten, we are doing the CV, the CV review thing where we're going to give lots of advice on CVs, but if you are applying for jobs, just make sure your keywords are there and follow up. That's what I say, differentiate yourself. That's just a golden tip for now, but we're going to go into some detail now. We'll get a bit more time in the next 5 to 10 days, hopefully. Great, Bina, well, lovely to see you. Have a wonderful week.
Thank you.
Sun shining.
Sun shining. It's getting warmer and warmer come Friday.
Yeah. See you soon. Bye, everybody.
See you then. Bye.